Wholesale Hotline, where we cover everything to do with wholesale real estate. I'm Jamil Damji.
I'm Brent Daniels.
And I am Pace Morby.
And together we cover the most important parts of wholesale real estate.
Lead generation.
Conversion of sellers into contracts.
And dispositions. Guys, remember, when you're watching this show, do us a favor and squad up in the comments.
Make sure that you are liking and subscribing to the YouTube channels and in the Facebook group Wholesale Hotline.
Most important, we want to know we're doing a great job for you and helping you build your business. So go give us a review on iTunes and or Spotify.
So squad up and enjoy the show!
Isn't it exciting? Isn't it exciting that literally we're one conversation away, we're one offer away from an incredible opportunity, to make 3,000, 5,000, 10,000, 100,000, the incredible opportunity to relieve the stress and pressure that a property owner that has personal problems with their properties having, the just compounding day after day worry that a lot of people have about the properties that they own or that they just inherited, or maybe they just are going through tough financial times. Maybe they're going through tough emotional times. We have the ability with one conversation to open up the floodgates of really solving those issues with somebody out there. And it is happening every single second of every single minute of every single hour of every single day in our country, throughout the entire country. It's absolutely incredible. Not only that, but we're one conversation away from a relationship that we can build with an incredible real estate investor, what we would call in the wholesaling world a cash buyer, that could open up so many different opportunities for us and really help us to recognize different potential in the properties that we're looking at, potential that we didn't even know was there. Because that's really the levels to the real estate entrepreneur game, is just recognizing potential. It's the most incredible business of all time. It's the most incredible opportunity I think that we have to be able to, from nothing, from thin air, from paying our cell phone bill, and going out into our communities and finding properties that are run down, that need renovation, that need significant investment. We get the opportunity every single day to pick up the phone and talk to a stranger, talk to somebody that we've never spoken to before, and have a quality conversation with them and see if they are ready to sell their property. We get that opportunity every single day. It is the best business of all time. I mean, anything, if you've ever, and maybe you're going through this now, let me speak to everybody that is working a full-time job. I want to speak to everybody that has like less than $5,000 in their savings account or checking account. All of your time and money issues can be resolved from a professional standpoint by picking up the phone and talking to people that own ugly properties or ugly situations. That's an absolute fact. We all have that ability to do it. Not only that, but the industry is set up for us to have all of the tools that we could possibly need to know everything that we need to know about the properties before even going in to negotiate with the property owner. So my question to you is, what have you done today? What have you done today to move forward, to progress in this business? How many conversations did you have today? How many offers did you make? Because really the business comes down to having conversations and making offers. That's it. That's the fundamental layer. Now, listen, if you want to go and you want to have a big, huge portfolio of single family properties that you do short-term rentals, or you rent them out to traveling nurses, or you have long-term tenants and really build incredible wealth, guess what? You have to find great opportunities. It makes it so much better, so much easier. We don't buy things retail as real estate investors. We go there and we find unbelievable opportunities. That's how you build this really, really, really fast. I don't care if you want to go and fix and flip. You're creative. You have a design. You have a mind and an eye for design. And you can go out there and you could take a property that looks bland and very, very average, and you can make it amazing. And you're super creative. But it all starts with the foundation, and that is finding discounted properties. It is the most proven path to financial freedom. Only 9% of this country is occupied. Did you know that? Only 9% of the United States actually has people living on it. And I think we all recognize that as soon as we get into an airplane, and within 10 minutes of being on that airplane, we look out the window and there's nothing. Vast emptiness, right? There's only certain places that have water that we can drink, and has transportation, and has infrastructure, and has all these things. And we have the opportunity to go there and find these diamonds, find these unbelievable, like just undiscovered, like huge amounts of income and equity just laying out there every single day. So again, what have you done today? Who have you talked to today? It all comes down to that. And then the beautiful thing is, once you realize that you can just pick up the phone and change everything that you want from a financial standpoint, then what you do is you actually create a business. And a business is just you having a vision, you having a goal, you having a dream, and somebody else wants to be a part of it. And then all of a sudden they start taking over certain roles in your business, in your day-to-day, what you do on a daily basis. They start taking over certain things so that you can start growing it and growing it. And then all of a sudden you look up and you fired yourself from every single one of the roles that you usually were doing, that you've done for years, that you've put in your sweat and your hard work and your frustrations. And now somebody else is doing it for you. Now you have a business that's running on its own. It's absolutely incredible. But there's orders to this. You have to understand that you have to go out there and you have to take action every single day. And we know that. We all know that. We've heard it a million times. What's the number one advice that you would give to people that are just starting out in this business? I've asked that question probably 500 times on the Wholesaling Inc. podcast. And without fail, it's take action. Just talk to people and take action. Believe in yourself. Have the confidence that you can go out there and really make a difference in your marketplace. Just taking that action. It starts with that, the proof of concept, getting your first dollar from real estate, your first dollar in. And I don't care if it is $1 or if it's $100,000, but getting the proof of concept and finding your tribe, finding the people that understand what you're doing because they're doing it as well, and following a model. Everything's already been done. It's just how do you want to do it, and how fast do you want to go? Do you want to kind of piece it all together through YouTube and through investor meetup groups and through podcasts and through mentorship or whatever else? How are you going to do it? What model are you going to follow? You got to follow a model. It's already done. And then from there, it's just replacing yourself, getting to the point where you've got the consistency where you can do this business full time. And then you start firing yourself. And it's awesome. And it's the absolute best. And I want that for everybody. And I want to celebrate that day for everybody. That's how exciting this business is. That's how excited I am about this business. That's how excited I am that you guys are all here to participate. One, to network in the side comments. Make sure that you're doing that. Make sure that you're squatting up and letting everybody know where you live and where you do business so that you can find people that you can connect with. But two, so that you can sharpen your skills. And that's the point of this show. That's the point that we come on here every Monday. Pace Morby, the incredible Pace Morby, Jamil Damji, the king of wholesaling, and myself. We get together and we try to bring you guys the most accurate information and instruction that you need to go out there and implement into your business so that you can actually go out there and completely change your life with this. Because we all did. And it's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. Now, tonight, Jamil is in Italy. Pace will join us here shortly in about 5 minutes. He said he'd be running about 15 minutes late. And I know that you're all excited to hear from Pace. and hear his latest, greatest adventures in buying businesses and buying properties. Listen, if you're just getting started in this and you're not full time in this, I just watched this video that Jerry Norton put out, and it was a live. And Jerry's incredible and a huge fan of the show, and he's part of the podcast, the Wholesale Hotline podcast. If you haven't subscribed and haven't been listening to that, it's absolutely bananas. Make sure that you do that. But Jerry was talking about how only 10% of people that are interested in this business ever do a deal. I think that's a little low. It's probably 20%. But of those 20%, only 10%, and I think that this is pretty accurate, go full time and create an actual business. Create something that they don't have to go and create a different business because this one's not working anymore. They're not having to go back to a job because they got a big check and they're like, I'm done. I'm firing my boss. I'm done with this. I'm done with working a 9 to 5. I just got $50K and I'm going to make a real run at creating a real business. 10%, guys. It's because of one thing. In my 20 years of doing this, almost 20 years, it's been 19, so I rounded up to 20. Been doing it since 2004. But what I've realized is focus 100%. Build one business at a time, and then when that thing is running and it is gunning and somebody else is doing the day-to-day operations, that's when you add the second business. If you try to do wholesale and you're trying to build your rental portfolio, you're going to get crushed. You're trying to create a wholesaling business and a flipping business, you're going to get crushed. I'm just telling you. You're going to get crushed. You have to put in the foundations of any business that you start as an entrepreneur. Any business, you got to put down the foundations. And it's just staying focused. There he is. There he is. Face Morby is now on live out of what I assume is your, what are those things? I want to call it a streamline, but it's not a streamline. What is it? Airstream.
Airstream.
That's it.
Where
are you located, buddy?
We are currently in Idaho Falls doing a meetup tomorrow. Anybody wants to come hang out in Idaho Falls tomorrow night. And then I'm going over to Jackson Hole, Wyoming for 5 or 6 days.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I remember when you took Aaron out there on an awesome, was it your anniversary? Yeah, so we're going to be out there for a week.
That's awesome. And so you're just doing this in your, just on the road.
Just on the road. Just
no airplanes. You're tired of those things getting canceled.
Yeah, and then I also want to bring my wife and kids with me, right? So I get to hang out with the community. I get to go do deals. I bought a business today in Ogden, Utah.
Yep.
Took my wife and kids with me to the appointment, and then jumped in the Airstream and drove up to Idaho Falls.
What's the business?
It's a business of beef jerky.
Seriously?
Yeah, beef jerky company. Been around for 10 years. The owner's ready to retire. He's giving me ownership in the business through a zero down acquisition. He'll stay on board for 2 years, and I'll buy him out through future profits.
Awesome. What's the name of the business?
I can't talk about it till we finalize.
Till you ink the deal.
Well, the deal's inked. I just have to close escrow.
Got it.
Yeah.
Nice.
But it's exciting. It's the best beef jerky on planet Earth. I've loved it for 10 years. And it's just like anything else. You notice an opportunity because I was thinking about how weird it is that you and I probably 15 years ago for you, probably 10 years ago for me, I would drive through a neighborhood and I would look at houses like houses.
Yep.
This is where people live. These are houses. And now I drive through a neighborhood. I'm like, oh, that's a rental. Oh, that's an Airbnb. Oh, that's a blah, blah, blah. That's a vacant property. We should call the owner. Oh my gosh. Those types of things. You just see things through a different set of eyeballs.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing with the business. You walk into a gas station, you buy a bag of this jerky 10 years ago, 9 years ago, 8 years ago, 7 years. It's the only place I stop religiously when I go to Utah. And I always walked into a gas station just to buy it as beef jerky because I looked at it as beef jerky. And then 2 days ago, I was like, I'm in business buying mode. let me reach out to the owner and ask him why he's not nationwide and why are you only in Utah? And he says, well, because I'm slowing my business down. I'm getting ready to retire and just shut down the business. I'm like, why would you shut this down? Sell it to me.
Yeah.
And so that was Sunday, and here we are Monday. So literally 24 hours later, I was in a Goodwood barbecue restaurant with him, working out a deal with my $2 and my wife next to me. Meanwhile, people are DMing me on the Instagram going, Pace, how do you balance work and life together? I'm like, my wife and kids are literally in a Goodwood barbecue spot next to me while I negotiated a zero down seller finance creative structure on this business. This guy has created a business that is so perfect to his lifestyle. He works 1 day a month, 0 employees, and takes home $125,000 a year with 1 day a month of work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so you're not even trying. He's like, actually, I try harder to turn down orders than I do to build my business. I don't want to work any more than I do. It's a pure lifestyle play for me. And I have been offered to be bought out, but yours was the most creative and I really like it. It allows me to get a check until I die. And so the guy decided to go with me instead of shutting it down or selling it to somebody else.
Awesome.
It's just interesting to think about, because we understand wholesale real estate, we see everything through a different set of optics, right? Like some people see an empty building and it's like, oh man, look at an ugly building. We look at a building, we go, there's opportunity there. There's a way for us to make $100,000 or $200,000 or whatever it is.
Potential.
Yeah.
But that's what I opened up with, Pace. I was talking about, the longer that you're in this and the more experience that you have with cash buyers, the more you get to recognize potential, because you can follow. It's like a story. Every property that you wholesale is its own little children's book size story, right? It really is, because okay, when it was built, what it was built from, who has lived there, what they've done in that property for a certain amount of time, that once what is it worth to you, then what is it worth to a cash buyer, then you get to watch and see what strategy did they use for this property. And I think that it's a shame if we just go, oh, I just wholesaled that deal and I didn't follow up and I didn't really know what was going on there. I think it does a huge disservice to your long-term real estate knowledge to not follow that story and see how it ends. What happened with this property? How did they get the most out of it? Did they win? Did they lose? Did they keep it? Did they flip it? What happened with this property? And the more that you study that and enjoy reading those stories, which are just the deals that we do, the more you can recognize the potential when you get to the point where you're ready to advance up the ranks in this business. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we had a family day yesterday and we went to see the movie Spider-Man. And I had to leave 20 minutes before the ending of the movie because I had to get over to Get Creative, my podcast that happens on Sunday. Dude, I didn't get to see the end of the movie. And I'm sitting here going, I asked my daughter, Corbin, I go, hey, what happened at the end of the movie? And she starts telling me everything that happened during the time I was in the theater with her. I'm like, yeah. Corbin, I was there for that. I want to know the end of the movie. And it is very similar to what you're talking about, is that it's like people go and knock on a door, they call a lead, they see somebody's in foreclosure, they see somebody going through probate, and even if they don't get the deal right away, it's almost as if people are not interested in the character development and the story arc of that little children's book that you're basically drawing the parallel to. Mm-hmm. It's like you guys are walking out of these movie theaters without knowing the ending of the story.
Yep.
And the person who's sitting there like, I'm waiting till the end of this story, I want to see all the way till, fruition, are the people that are getting these deals, especially the ones in foreclosure, right? Like there's always a plot twist at the end of a foreclosure. Always. It's like you think you know what's going on. You're calling the seller, you're knocking their door, you're having conversations with them. They're telling you everything that's happening. And you think you know what's going on. And the seller says, I'm not interested, or I'm going to do a loan mod, or I'm going to do this. And they're basically telling you the story. But what happens is right at the end, it's like M. Night Shyamalan comes in here and rewrites the whole entire thing, the last 48 hours of the foreclosure.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that waited through the movie theater the whole time are the ones that get those deals. Like the majority of my foreclosures, probably 40% of my foreclosures, come from the last 2 days before they get foreclosed on. Because there's a plot twist at the end of the story.
Mm-hmm.
And the only people that get those deals are the ones that stayed in the movie theater long enough to gobble up those opportunities. So it's interesting to hear the parallel between that and how right you are, my friend.
Let me ask you this. So you're a real estate entrepreneur. You own a bunch of real estate. You own different companies that serve our community. Why beef jerky? Like why buy another business? Why branch into food as opposed to just using whatever time and resources that you have for just another property?
Because my property purchasing machine is operating without me on a daily basis. I bought 6 houses last week. I don't even know one of their addresses, right?
This is what I was talking about, Pace. This is exactly what I was talking about. You build up the business, you replace yourself in the business, and then you go after other things. But if you don't have that focus, especially in the origin of your business, when it's just a seed coming out of the ground and really starting to build some momentum, and then all of a sudden you switch tracks, nothing's going to happen. You're just not going to grow that business. It's always going to be stunted. And so you're a perfect example of that. And I think, I know that you know my lifestyle and my real estate team and them running everything basically without me. I just throw myself in because I'm a deal junkie and I like the stories, like we mentioned. But if I were to try to do, and I tried to do a fix and flip company, a real estate brokerage, focus on short selling homes back in the day, and add to my rental portfolio, and everything just exploded. And I think that was a huge lesson for me. I'd love to get your perspective on it.
Yeah, going back into the question of why am I buying a beef jerky business, it's funny, all the things that you've acquired in terms of skill sets, knowledge, talents, team, etc., they all apply to just about every business you can imagine. Think about what could I do with this motivated seller of a beef jerky company. Could I not wholesale this opportunity to somebody else? Could I not bring in a partner to go and run it? Could I not do everything that we are already doing in real estate? I see an opportunity because I obtained a skill of putting on a new pair of glasses that I didn't have before, which is the opportunity set of glasses. I'm looking for an opportunity. And what's fun is the story is probably the second or third reason why I will buy a business like this. But what is so fun is this whole entire journey of self-discovery. Every 3 months, you get to see new versions of yourself. Like when you started having to lead a team, the size of your team, and you had to then step away from that team to have an automated version of that team. Those are not checking boxes. Those are things that you have to go through. And you get into the middle of those and you go, oh, wow, I don't know what I'm doing. And you have to become a new person every 3 to 6 months to then elevate to the next level. And I think that's why you and I continue to do what we do, is that it's just this absolute enthralling journey of self-discovery over and over and over. And we get to improve ourselves. Mm-hmm. And then at some point, we get to watch other people improve themselves based on the knowledge that we impart. And I talked to a lot of people, and it seems like Brent Daniels cut my learning curve in half. Jamil Damji cut my learning curve in half. And you start talking to people and they come up to you and they go, oh my gosh, Pace, what took you 10 years to accomplish has taken me 2. Mm-hmm. And that truly then becomes the most addicting activity that I get to do on a daily basis, is hear how Brent Daniels, Jamil Damji, and some of my things have helped cut down other people's learning curves by a 10x margin. Mm-hmm. And I think that is one of the most motivating things that you could ever put in your life, is watching your actions change somebody else's life. It's the freaking coolest thing.
Well, and also it's like, I think everybody on here understand, like, has that fire in your belly to really push the limit on what is our potential. And if you really understand what is your potential for service, that's all business is. That's all sales is. That's all this what we're talking. That's all wholesaling is. It's just a service. It's the amount of money that we make is equal to the amount of service we provide. That's just how earned income works. That's the equation. But that's really the exciting thing. Once you get to a certain spot, that I remember talking to Brian North, and he's an incredible. He owned the brokerage North. He still owns North and Co. It's an incredible luxury brokerage here in Arcadia, which is a very fancy area. And he was talking about making $400,000 a year, and how that was the top 1%. Income earners in the country. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I kept hitting like 215, 220, 230. And I was like, how do people make $400,000? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you get that after tax in a month, and you're like, oh my gosh, there's so much more. It's just, you start thinking bigger and different, and your brain breaks, and then it keeps coming together, and then you become a magnet for the people that are around you, and then all of a sudden just momentum starts building behind the amount of service that you feel that you could provide, and then it's just more and more and more, and getting louder and stronger, more confident with it. And it's just it's unbelievable. It's almost limitless, the potential that we have, and it's just exciting getting to next levels. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we I have a new mentor, a guy I pay. I think this year I'll pay him $250,000 this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically it's either 25 or it's 20 grand a month, and he's a guy that sold a business, financial services business, 4 years ago for $1 billion. Him and his brother, just a dude that got his girlfriend pregnant at age 17, had no money, was a waiter at a restaurant, and was smart enough to spot opportunity and see these really wealthy people having conversations that he was serving, and started asking questions, and somebody gave him an opportunity to understand what they did. And he then was like, oh my gosh, I have this engine I want to go place in this new vehicle. 17 years, he sold his company for $1 billion. And I'm at his house the other night. It's a $40 million home right on the water, $80 million boat right outside the house. Who cares about material possessions other than the fact that, they're good measurements for success, I guess. It's really hard to fake an $80 million boat, and it's really hard to fake a $40 million house. So I'm sitting there at dinner with him, and then fast forward 2 weeks later, I start having conversations with my partner, Cody. And he's like, wow, there's something different about these conversations we're having. What is going on? And I reverse what was happening. I'm like, oh, because I've been having different conversations with people that understand what is really possible out there. Same thing was when I met Brent Daniels. Brent broke open my mind. This is 2015, 16, I think, somewhere around there, where I asked Brent, I remember this is 6, 7, 8 years ago, something like that. And I asked Brent, sitting in his office, I said, dude, with all these wholesalers, when will we run out of all the deals?
Yeah.
My mindset, even 6, 7, 8 years ago, was that there was a limit to how many deals there are. And Brent is like, you're joking me, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember that conversation?
Of course. Yeah. You listen, I think it's one of those things where I think maybe sometimes our mind plays tricks on us to try to like protect us from putting too much effort into, like, it's like, what does that say? Saying like, practice makes perfect. And it's like, no. Good practice, perfect practice makes perfect. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to just be, digging a hole in the wrong direction, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like, you want to make sure that you are doing the right things and are in the right place, and it's going to get you where you want to go, whatever goal you have, whatever you've established for yourself. And so I think that that's 100% normal to think that the competition is going to be too great, or that there's no more opportunity, or this used to work but now it doesn't. As just a mechanism to make sure that we're not going to be doing something silly. But this business pace, this business is so lopsided. It's unbelievably lopsided. There's 14 million really rundown properties in this country. And Batch did a study. They spent tens of thousands of dollars and found that there's like 70,000 wholesalers, people that would consider themselves wholesalers. So you've got 14 million opportunities. You got 70,000. And from the stats, I saw the speech that Jerry did. I think you were there, Pace. And he was breaking down the 5 stages of scaling your business. And he talks about, people interested in this business, only 10 or 20% actually do their first deal. And then of that, only 10% actually go full time in this. Yeah. So if you look at those numbers and you go 70% to 20% to 10 versus 14 million properties, it's a conveyor belt. It's the odds are totally stacked in your favor. And I think that that's what people are concerned about. But I think not for you. I mean, you understand. You've been doing real estate for a long time. You had a home investors franchise. You've seen the ebbs and flows of everything going on with Open Door and OfferPad and all those other companies that were buying up, and all the hedge funds coming in and doing all that. There's still opportunities. There's still unbelievable opportunities. The day that we ever drive in a neighborhood, in a community, in a whole city, and there's not an ugly house, is the day that this is up. Done. But it's never going to happen. Because the beautiful thing is there's such thing called sunshine and rain and wind and wear and tear. And, there's always going to be opportunities in real estate. And so if you ever doubt that there's enough room for you in this business, there absolutely is. And we welcome you with open arms. We want to embrace you and shorten your learning curve. And most of what Pace and I do, honestly, is not just the instruction and go do this. It's giving you the confidence that you can do this and get rid of and crumble that self-doubt that you might have. We want to do that by giving you examples and doing case studies and bringing people on and interviewing people doing their first deals and celebrating people that are out there doing incredible things. Because everybody watching this, everybody listening to this can absolutely do this business. They can do it full time. They can build something that is a absolute ATM machine that's going to fund all their other investments. It's awesome.
Well, here's a Facebook user says, "Hey guys, I've got my first wholesale deal in play. Congratulations. Question, is there one contract that the investor, purchaser, and I, completely separate contract between the purchaser, investor, and myself? Do I get a contract signed between okay, you're using your terminology all incorrectly, first and foremost, but congratulations. So let me just get you straightened out just real quick. The seller and you sign a contract that's called a purchase and sale agreement. I'll give you a copy of one right now in the side chat. You'll get a purchase and sale agreement. Actually, Carly, you're in the side chat. Carly, will you do me a favor if you're there? Carly, can you drop the little Google Drive link for our purchase and sale agreement for a cash transaction and the assignment contract for a cash transaction, and then also a JV agreement in that little Google Drive, if you don't mind? Guys, that package that we're going to drop in the side chat, that's a gift from us to you. It's probably cost $7,000, $8,000 in attorney's fees to write that. So the answer is yes. You have purchase and sale agreement goes between you and the homeowner. Then you sign another agreement called the assignment agreement between you and the buyer, the cash buyer. And those are 2 separate contracts. You send both of those to the title company, and the title company will know exactly what to do with them. Okay. Adolfo Sanchez says, "Thank you for the contract information." It's very simple. If you guys want me to, I could even show you very quickly how to fill out those contracts. It's like a 3-page contract, but I don't know if we have time for that today. We've done that a lot, to be honest. So guys, maybe what you should do is go type in wholesale hotline contract. And there's an episode, I think there's maybe 2 episodes where I walk through the contract myself. Okay. Facebook user. Thank you, Pace. Why does my name not show up? I don't know, because you haven't figured out technology. Okay. Okay, so there you go. There's the answer to your question. Shannon Mack, this one's for you, Mr. TTP.
Yeah.
When wholesaling on market properties, is it a no-no if your wholesale price is higher than list price? Are you supposed to be locking under list price? If the 70% rule justifies the numbers, it should be okay, right?
Yeah, Shannon Mack. Listen, if you can get to that deal and it is a true deal before everybody else, and put it under contract, then that would be fine. But what you'll find is, most of the time, real estate agents are going to put it on the market, and then they'll get several offers, if not dozens of offers from investors that are looking on the market for deals. And so if you can snag that deal very quickly before they receive a tremendous amount of other offers, then sure, then you could make that happen. But in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I just locked up this deal on the market. They had no other offers. Then I'm thinking to myself, wait a second, why, with the exposure to the entire planet that the MLS gives you, are there no other cash buyers interested in this deal? So I always go in, and this is just in our market, so I don't know what market you're in, but in our market, if a deal hits the MLS, there's a tremendous amount of offers. So I like the properties that are listed a little bit higher. They still are in rough condition, and I look to get those at 70%, if not 50% of the list price. I don't care what the ARV is. I go after I knock off 30 to 50% of the list price, and then it makes it a lot easier to sell that deal, because the first thing that a very savvy cash buyer is going to do is they're going to look up that address, and they're going to see it on Zillow, or they're going to see it on the MLS, and they're going to be like, oh, this is on the market. You know, if I don't buy this and this guy doesn't, or gal doesn't assign it, then I'll just pick it up once it gets back in the market.
Yeah. So Shannon, this is my opinion about wholesaling. I think personally, everything Brent is saying is correct. I'm on the same page. If I could have started over, I would have never started calling deals first. I would have started calling buyers first. And I would have asked those buyers what they're looking for, and I would not have built a buyer's list of 10,000, 2,000, 200, or even more than 20. I would have started with 2 cash buyers that were very, very active. Okay. I just did this in my Elephant Challenge last week. So go to my YouTube channel, type in Pace Morby Elephant Challenge. I do a 3-day challenge every single month. It's free. I do it to show you guys how to generate leads, and we do lead generation live. My wife came in last week, and she was the highlight of the Elephant Challenge last week. And I told people, let's wholesale the way you're supposed to wholesale, okay? Which is call your customers before you go get product, okay? If I was going to go sell anything, let's say I was going to go sell cars, and I decided I'm going to be a car wholesaler. I'm going to find lower discounted priced cars, and I'm going to go sell those to people that want them. No different than doing what we're doing in real estate. I'm not going to go to El Paso and just start bringing in Lamborghinis and Teslas into El Paso, Texas, assuming that that market could handle Lamborghinis. It's not going to happen. So I don't care how good of a deal you got on a Lamborghini. If it's $400,000 in LA and you sell it to somebody in El Paso for $300,000, no offense to people in El Paso, y'all have never seen $300,000. The market cannot bear a $300,000 car. Okay. So are you going to go start a Lamborghini dealership in El Paso, Texas? The answer is emphatically no, absolutely not. No matter how good of a deal you got on that Lamborghini, you're not going to be able to scale that business model in El Paso, Texas. And to the contrary, would I take a used minivan dealership and go place it in Beverly Hills, California? The answer is absolutely not. So why would I go stock up on product like minivans or Lamborghinis if I haven't done my market research to see what my customers can actually purchase? It's very simple. Don't lock up a deal. I'm going to tell you right now, whoever believes, and Brent is probably going to agree with me. I think the 70% of ARV minus repairs, minus whatever, is going to get you into trouble sometimes. The best way to know what you should offer on a deal is actually talk to your cash buyer and say, hey, I saw you bought this deal. Okay. Go again, type in Elephant Challenge, Pace Morby. You'll see this happened last Thursday, Friday. Okay. In fact, I'll pull it up and I'll show this to you. So you guys can I'll skip a 30-minute dissertation about this. But I think this is one of the biggest problems with our business is that people go out and they try and wholesale, but they don't have a buyer that's backing them up. Okay. So if I go to my channel and let me do a little screen share for you. Shannon Mack, just FYI. Great question. It deserves a little bit more breath, just FYI. Okay, so let's go to my channel. Let's go to my lives. Here you go. Here's my wife actually calling real buyers. There's Carly, one of our favorite people on the planet. Okay, check this out. My wife right here is calling and finding people who are actively flipping houses.
Yep.
And she's calling them live. Okay. And she actually puts their buy box together. See this little thing right here called buy box? She's on the phone actively in this video right now. I'll share this video with you. You can skip to the 1 hour and 50-minute mark, and you will learn how wholesaling should be done. Stop calling sellers before you have a buyer. Now, if I'm brand new, that's my advice to you. If I drop Brent Daniels in Oklahoma City, I already know what Brent's going to do.
Yeah.
Brent's going to go to the seller directly because he knows how to comp, he knows how to value, he knows how to see the opportunity because he's experienced. If you are jumping in and calling sellers and negotiating on their properties and you don't have a buyer backing you up, guys, that's a very quick way, in my opinion, for you to gas yourself out. And here's why. You do not feel authentic and genuine when you're calling these sellers and saying you're a cash buyer, because you don't really have a cash buyer backing you up. When you have a real cash buyer backing you up and you can say, me and my partner are looking for a deal, we are cash buyers, you don't feel like you're lying. And a lot of times I see brand new wholesalers, okay, they go and they go call sellers because they see Brent Daniels, Jamil Damji, not Jamil doesn't do this, Brent, me, and Jerry Norton calling sellers and agents. But you didn't see the part where we already have a buyer lined up, whether that buyer is us or that buyer is somebody else. Go get a buyer before you call sellers. And when people say, oh, that's reverse wholesaling. No, it's not. That's like calling business reverse business. No, it's not. Do customer acquisition and research first before you go open up your gym. You don't go open up a Subway franchise on a street corner that gets no traffic. Why the hell would you do that? And then go, Pace, I got the greatest sandwiches ever. I got the best cookies, the best sandwiches, the best selection of chips, and my freaking fountain sodas are the best, but I can't understand why. Even when I discount my prices on my sandwiches and I got people spinning signs outside my door, I can't get somebody to come in and buy a sandwich from me. Probably because you didn't do your market research and there's nobody driving on that street. You have no street traffic. Nobody's driving by your business. So do your market research, okay? Go and find your buyers before you go and find your deals. Now, I'm talking to the brand new people only. Why? Because you don't know how to comp. You don't know what ARV actually is. And when you're going and you're punching in these calculations and you're calling sellers and then you lock up a contract, if you go back and watch this video right here, okay? Video I just did 10 days ago. There's a girl at the very beginning of the challenge. She comes in and she pours her heart out and she says, I wanted to give up on wholesaling because I learned by watching everybody on YouTube that's calling sellers that I should be calling sellers. I locked a seller up in a contract with an agent representing them, and then I couldn't perform because I couldn't find a buyer. And that agent yelled at me, and they said that the seller had a problem, something bad happened to them because as a result of me failing to complete the transaction. Guys, I would also not want to be in the business or any business if I ever hurt a potential customer. So if you are wholesaling and you're saying, I locked up a contract, but I can't find a buyer, well, it's because you went out and bought a box of extra large t-shirts and you went to an audience of children in kindergarten and tried to sell them extra large t-shirts. They're not buying that. So why did you go lock that up under a contract? Do your market research. If my market is buying large t-shirts, then go buy large t-shirts. But what you guys are doing is buying large t-shirts and then going out to people. Anybody want a large t-shirt? Why would you do that?
I only buy extra small t-shirts. You know that, Pace.
Well, your t-shirts are tattooed on you.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, listen, you have to be a buyer to be a buyer. You know what I mean? You either have to have the cash, which Jamil set that all up for us, so that's fantastic. So we're all cash buyers out there. If you don't understand what I mean by that, he's got a fund of $20 million that will do transactional funding. So we're all the industry set up for us to win. We are cash buyers, all right. But if you don't have any intention or of actually closing on that thing and doing something with it, and you want to just wholesale it, you have to have a buyer. You have to have buyers that are going to that's how you make money as a wholesaler. You match up properties that need some investment with people that have the intentions to invest in that property. Yeah. So how do you know what to go after if you don't know what they're looking to invest in? And it's very simple, guys. You can go on right now. You can go, well, don't go right now. Stay with us because it's going to be well worth it for the next 45 minutes. But you can go on to Zillow. You can go on to Redfin with zero budget. If you have some budget, you can get Privy, which is phenomenal. And you can go and look at any of the properties that are flipped, any of the properties that are staged, any of the properties that don't have, clothes in the closets. They don't have things on the countertops. And you just call up the real estate agent and you see what they're buying. Those are flippers. Those are our customers right there. And oftentimes the agent is the flipper. They just got a license because they wanted to save money when they sold the properties. But that's how you start building up your cash buyer database and understanding what they're looking for and in what area. Nicole, TTP stands for talk to people. I love it. And just real quick, just I don't, the 70% thing, Pace, you're absolutely right. That's determined on supply and demand. So that means fix up value, multiply that by 70% minus repairs is typically what a wholesaler will buy it at. If the inventory is 2 months or bigger, that's it. 2 months or more of inventory in your area. I've got a ton of videos on my YouTube channel. You can check that out to determine what the inventory is in your market. But if it's on market, there's just a stigma that if you don't get it well under what it's listed for, it's going to be tough to sell that property. For example, Pace, back in the day, and I think people still do this, but if we ever got a deal on the MLS, we'd ask the agent if they'd take it off the MLS as part of the offer, right? It was agreed on terms that they would have to amend their listing agreement to remove it from the MLS. For us to be able to sell it because our buyers wouldn't buy anything that was listed. It's crazy. Yeah. So, and by the way, and just to add just a little bit of real life to what Pace just said about squatting up with a cash buyer, an investor in your area, you will make less on your first deals. You will. They might wholesale it to somebody else. They might make ridiculous profits on it, and they might tell you that this is the best offer that they can do, even though that they could go more on it. That's fine. That's okay. It's just that's part of the learning experience. Get it done. Get paid. Get it through. Get that get the deal done. So that the seller's happy, your cash buyer's happy, and you've got incredible experience. You're going to make probably 50% of what you thought you could or should. You're going to see other people making money on that deal. But don't get bitter. Don't get sad. Don't feel like, oh, I left all this meat on the bone, and if I would have gotten 40,000 instead of 14,000, it would have changed my life forever. There's too many other deals out there. Keep hustling, keep finding great opportunities, and you're going to win.
Love it. Now we've got some people. I asked everybody in the side chat. I gave you guys the link to come on the live. I've got Nicole Sanders. I've got Tyler Pulver, Adrian Durning, Henry Garcia, and I've also got Larry the Lion. And I also have Elvia Hernandez and Constance Talley. Got a bunch of people in the back of the show.
Let's go.
Some of you guys don't have your videos on. So if you guys want me to select on you, I will not select you if you do not have your video on. Okay, so we've got Elvia Hernandez. Elvia, how you doing? What do you got for us today? Elvia.
You there?
Yeah, good. I'm just looking at you guys. Starting wholesaler. Yes.
Where do you live? Oh, I think Pace just knocked himself out of this, which is interesting. Bring on Larry the Lion. I like that. Larry, while we're waiting for Pace to reconnect, what's going on?
Hey, Brent, nice to meet you finally.
Yeah, you too.
Larry, what do you got for us, brother? We're going to go through and do Q&A. So anybody that we pull on the main chat, guys, we do not want you coming back here. This does happen every time I do this. Every time I do this, there's always somebody that comes on and goes, oh, I just clicked on the link. Guys, click on the link when you have a question. If you want to come and watch the show, you were already watching the show. Click on the link if you have a question. Larry, do you have a question for us today?
Yeah, I'm the house I'm living in. I have an opportunity subject to it from the agent real estate investor, and I have somebody that's going to be a partner with me. They want to do a 90-10 split, and I get to live here. I don't have the money to get it into escrow and all that, and it could be a pad split eventually. There's an ADU built to it.
Okay.
I don't really have any. Abraham looked it over for me earlier today, and he said it wouldn't be for him because it's not in Atlanta. So, other option would be get private money lender, but how would I pay that down next year? After we got to keep on getting more private money lenders. This solves the problem for me, though. Also, have a place to live.
Okay, so you're telling me a problem. You're assuming I understand how to digest Larry language and understand your question. Lucky for you, I do understand Larry language, and I'm going to dissect and I'm going to translate Larry's language. Larry's saying, Pace, I have a property I'm living in. The agent owner currently that is my landlord is willing to sell the property to me via subject to. The problem is I have to come up with some capital in order to close on this transaction, and I don't A, have the capital, or B, I don't have the risk tolerance and belief in myself. That's a hard one to swallow, Larry, but that's really what you're saying. I don't have the belief in myself so that next year, if I do raise private capital, I have the personal skill set that will allow me to do enough wholesale deals or other transactions to pay that private money lender back. Did I digest this better than you said it in the first place?
Are you ChatGPT?
I'm ChatGPT. Okay, so I love you, Larry. You're awesome and amazing. I have a different risk tolerance than you, and I also have a different level of belief in myself, and I have for a long time. You, as we've talked in the airport, you're going through mindset stuff just like I'm going through mindset stuff, just like anybody else is going through mindset stuff, right? Part of your mindset stuff is believing in yourself and acquiring skills to then pay higher level bills than you can currently pay today. I'm a lunatic. I'm going to tell you what I do. I will purposely, this is my personality and my risk profile, I will purposely put myself in a pressure situation so that I have to perform. I enjoy when I have no money in the bank. I enjoy when all the odds are stacked against me, because sometimes that's the pressure that I need to perform at my best. Okay? If I can tell you the worst deals I've ever structured in my life, Larry, are deals when I had a lot of money in the bank. And they were the worst deals I ever structured because I had the comfort and I had the skills. Not the skills. I didn't rely on my skills. I relied on the money in the bank. So The situation you're in right now, Larry, with lack of capital is a good thing. It's a good thing. You can go with your first option, which is let me bring on somebody who will come in, fund the cost of the sub 2 deal. I can do that, right? Go get the person that's going to fund the cost of the sub 2 deal. Let them be a 90% owner, give you 10% equity, and you pay for the thing. Great. You got the deal done. Success. Everything's closed. You're done. Move on to the next thing. That's great. But my personality, I'm different than you, Larry. And you got to ask yourself, why is pace different than me? And what would I have to do to elevate to that mindset stage? Because it's just a stage. It's just a phase. I'm just in a different phase than you. It's not that you're not capable. It's that you have not gotten to that phase yet. Part of it is because you're purposely putting it off just a little bit out of comfort. Okay. But if it was me, I'd raise the capital.
Larry, do you like the house?
It's okay. I could love it if I built it up. You know, I have a vision for it if I believed in myself, like Faith said.
Larry, why do I believe in you more than you believe in you?
Good question.
Everything comes down to mindset. I can't take too much time on this because we got other people in the studio.
Right.
But I'm gonna send you off with love. Those are your two options. Get the deal done 100% with certainty, or navigate into the unknown and have to have some self-belief and go and raise some capital and own that thing 100% by yourself. Who are you is a better question. What are you made of is a better question, because both of these will be successful. It's just, which journey do you want to go down as an individual? Which one would Pace go down?
Own it.
Why? Because I believe in myself and my ability to go and pay that private money lender off. That's it. It's not a perfect structure. It's a question of what is going on in your own mind, okay? So, I love you. I'm sending you off with love. Have a good day.
Love you, Larry.
Okay, let's get we got Sadie on here. Sadie, what up? How you doing?
Hey.
Hello. Hi, Pace.
Hi, how you doing? Tell us what you got for us.
Pretty good. I got on here just to get out of my comfort zone, but I do have a question. So my question really quick, I invest in Orlando. There's a property that's been on market for 200 plus days. I've talked to the realtor twice. The last time I talked to the realtor was last week, and he pretty much said the same thing, that the seller is an investor. They're investing in my current city, Sanford, Florida, and in multifamily, he doesn't have a reason to do creative financing. Like, it doesn't matter if he sells the property or not. But come today, I see that a wholesaler has the property and they're marketing it. So it's a 4-3, and I feel like it would be great for a pad split. But I don't have the funds. Like, I'm tied into a current fix and flip that has taken a year and we're not done yet.
Okay, so Sadie, you're in sub 2.
Yes, I am.
Anytime I get a sub 2 student that says I lack the funds, I say, then do you really believe you are part of sub 2? Because the average sub 2 student has $72,000 of private capital. Write that down. Remember that. Memorize that. The average sub 2 student has $72,000 in private capital. You don't have a capital problem. You have a lack of sub 2 friends problem. Solve that problem. That is the solution to that. Never, ever, Sadie, in your life, are you allowed to ever say, I have a lack of capital ever again. What you should say is, I have a lack of friends problem and I need to go get more. That's it. Everybody, by the way, everybody in the side chat that's a sub 2 student that's raised capital from each other, with each other, for each other, etc. Okay. You know, okay, that there is so much stinking money in our community. It's ridiculous. And by the way, do you know the Gator community that I built up in the last 12 months has $50 million in cash?
I know. I got Gator funds probably within my second week of joining sub 2.
There you go. What I did is I built sub 2 and I go, I'm going to go build something that's going to just bring a ton of cash to sub 2. And there you go. You got Gator funds already within 2 weeks. Look at this magical thing that we've created together, right? So a couple of things. Whenever I see a wholesaler marketing a property that I was going after, I say, good. Good. Why do I say good, see?
Because I mean, obviously there's a problem. I guess the seller still wants to sell, and now I'm thinking they released. I don't know. I'm thinking a wholesaler maybe they tied it up.
A wholesaler tied it up, and guess what they're doing? They're watching only on YouTube. They're not part of a TTP or Astro sub 2 community, and they locked it up doing the 70% of ARV minus repairs minus my assignment fee. Whatever. Okay. And so what they're doing is they're then sending it out to the world. You are one of those people that they're marketing to. They're probably marketing it on Facebook or they're marketing to whatever. They don't have a buyer. So what's going to happen in 10 days?
Cancel.
Price is going to decrease?
No. Well, yeah, one of two things is going to happen. The wholesaler is going to realize, crap, I'm in over my skis. And they're going to cancel the contract, which then does what to the seller and the agent that's representing the seller? Instills motivation and frustration that you then in the future get to solve. Or option 2, the wholesaler comes along and says, hey, my lender says they can't give me enough money, or my contractor estimate came in too high, whatever the bullshit thing that they're going to say to the seller is, okay? They're going to have to go back and renegotiate because they contracted it too high. This happens for most brand new wholesalers that are not part of our communities. They don't know what they're doing. Okay. So this is a good thing for you. Okay. So stay in tune with them, follow. And I would even reach out to the seller. Is it an agent that's representing the seller?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I would reach out to the agent and say, hey, it sounds like you guys got this locked up. I saw some other investors chatting about it. Let me know if that contract falls through. I'd love to be your guys' backup offer. Okay?
Perfect. Yep.
Why do you think it's a deal?
I think it's a deal because it's the size of it. I mean, it's already a 4-3. I think it's a good deal for a pad split. And it can be turned into, maybe a 6-3. So I'm just thinking about this.
Why was it on the market?
4-2 or 4-3?
4-3.
Okay, it's a 4-3. It could probably be turned into an 8-3. And if it's in Orlando, then Orlando is a highly successful pad split area. So great, I love it. The cash flow's there, awesome. What you want to do is you want to then buy it on Creative Finances. What it sounds like, it's been on the market for 200 days. So you're saying, obviously the seller's motivated. The seller wants a high enough price. Okay, great, it fits. The problem is you just haven't been following up long enough. 70% of my deals come from 13 follow-ups or more. So when I talk to people and they say, well, I've been talking to the seller for a couple of weeks, I'm like, you've barely begun.
What was the price that it was on the market for versus the wholesale price?
It was $394 in December, but last week it was $359, and the wholesaler has it on market for $349.
Okay. So they're probably in the $330 range that they got an accepted offer on.
That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, is it how old's the property?
This property was built in 1980 something, I believe. It's a
no
wood
HOA?
frame property. No HOA. No.
Awesome. Cool.
It's not a deal. If I was going to buy that cash, okay, and it did not sell in the market for $390, okay, it's not going to sell on a wholesale transaction at $340. Okay.
No.
You got to buy that deal. I'm going to tell you right now. Okay. So let's do the math on this. For everybody that's in wholesale world, okay, let me tell you, if the ARV is 390, which is what they probably are like, oh, Zillow says 390, it's 390. Average purchase price in Orlando, Florida. Let's figure that out. I bet you it's somewhere around that. Average sales price of home in Orlando. Perfect. It is $369. Okay. So $390 is the ARV. I don't even need to know the address. I already know that's the fully renovated price of the house. The seller, the agent are up in the freaking night, and the seller's crazy, which is great. It's good for you with creative.
Yep.
The agent is an idiot. Why?
Mhm.
Why is the agent an idiot? Because they took a listing at ARV on a house that is not renovated.
Yep.
Only a dumbass real estate agent would do that. The agent
Mhm.
should have gone to the seller and said, hey, seller, look, you know the average sales price in Orlando is $368. Your house is 1980 something. You haven't renovated the property in X amount of years. Best thing I'm going to be able to do for you is I'll list it for $390 just to tell you how stupid you are. Obviously, there's a more political way of saying that. Hey,
Mhm.
seller, I'd be happy to list the property for you, but I just want to let you know that the market is telling me something else. The market's telling me that this property is probably going to trade somewhere around $310 to a retail buyer, maybe $320 to a retail buyer. It's not going to sell at $390. Okay. And by the way, everybody, guys, pay attention to this. Everybody that tells you inventory is a problem is full of shit.
Mm.
Why? Was this house not on the market? So you're telling me that this house hit the market and we have an inventory problem, but this house didn't sell.
Yeah.
Over 200 days.
We do not have an inventory problem. Do not give me that line of hogwash. We do not have an inventory problem. We have a pricing and an interest rate problem and an affordability problem. That's the problem we have. There are thousands of homes in Orlando for sale right now, and those home buyers did not buy that house at $390 because a pricing and an interest rate problem creates an affordability problem. Therefore, the house in a hot market with no inventory still didn't sell at $390, then it's not worth $390. Okay, cool. If the average sales price is $368 and the wholesaler locked it up at $349, who is gonna buy that deal from that wholesaler? Name the avatar. Who's the person? Anybody? Is it a homeowner that's gonna buy that cash and live in it? No, because they would have seen it on the MLS.
Yep.
Right. Yep.
There's no chance in hell that a wholesaler is going to reach a retail home buyer before the MLS reaches that same home buyer. That hell will freeze over before that happens.
Yeah.
Okay, so this wholesaler is not marketing to homeowners because he has no chance in hell. Okay, who's he marketing to? Hedge funds? No, because he was marketing to a hedge fund. A hedge fund is not sitting on a wholesale list. Hedge fund buyers are relationship buyers. This wholesaler doesn't have a relationship with the hedge fund. He's screwed. Okay, great. So he's only looking for one of two remaining types of buyers, which would be one, a buy and hold buyer, or B, two, a fix and flipper. And neither one of those buyers is paying $349 for that house.
Yeah.
So
the homes in the area, they're selling for like $450, $500, but that's like the worst one.
Okay, you're telling me they're selling for $450 to $500, and this house hasn't been renovated since the 80s, right?
He may have done a little bit, maybe 20 years ago, but it's outdated.
Okay, he's $100,000 too high. He's $100,000 too high.
It's $100,000 too high, all day long. It's $100,000 too high. So what does that allow for you to do, Sadie? Here's what this allows for you to do: build a relationship. The reason why the agent is not talking to you about, did you talk to the seller about creative finance?
No, just the agent.
No, you talked to a dumbass real estate agent who took 2 weeks of classes to get a license.
It's about to expire. Watch. After it doesn't go through and the deal gets canceled, oftentimes the seller's going to cancel the listing with the listing agent, and or it's going to expire here because it's going to be 6 months.
Sadie, the majority of my on-market deals that I buy are 1 day off market. Let me say that to you one more time. The majority of my on-market deals I buy are 1 day off market. What does that mean?
So
it means the dumb ass real estate agent who doesn't know anything about real estate is telling you a lie. What are they saying to you? Okay. Sadie, I'm saying this to everybody else, by the way, not just you. I'm picking on you, but I'm saying this to everybody else. When somebody tells you they don't like ice cream, what are they really saying to you? They're saying, I have lactose intolerance, because there's no chance in hell somebody doesn't like ice cream. Who doesn't like ice cream?
Right.
Communists.
Communists. Okay. So when somebody says, I don't like ice cream, I know what they're really saying is they're saying, I'm lactose intolerant. Okay, great. So when an agent says my listing that's been on the market for 200 days, it's overpriced, my seller's not interested in seller finance, what are they really saying? The agent is saying, I have no clue how to pitch that to my seller. I am dumb. My broker is dumb. And I'm barely paying my bills with my 3 listings I did this entire year.
Right.
I'm too embarrassed to tell you. So I'm just going to tell you that my seller's not interested.
And 3 listings made them the top agent in their brokerage.
That's correct.
I know.
Okay, now think about this. So how do I get this deal? One of 2 ways. One, I'm patient and I wait for the listing to become expired. I call the seller directly. If you are a licensed agent. If you're not a licensed agent, I'm sorry, but after 200 days, I'm calling that seller directly myself. I'm not a licensed agent, so I will go around an agent after 6 months. If you've had this on marketed for 6 months, I'm calling that seller directly.
Right.
Hey, seller, my name's Pace. I just talked to your agent about getting you the number that you listed for originally, paying their commissions, and getting you the number that you originally wanted, as long as we could work out some sort of terms that benefits my company. Is that something that you'd like to have a conversation about? The seller, I will bet you $10,000, the seller is going to go, my agent never brought that up to me. Okay, that's option 1.
Let me ask you this, Pace. Is it illegal for somebody that does not have a real estate license to just call up a homeowner that has a listed property?
No.
Is that illegal?
No.
No. It's not even illegal for an agent to do it. It's against the code of ethics. That's the problem that they have there. If you are licensed, you can't just call up somebody else's seller and talk to them. But could you plant the seed? Could you have a conversation with them right now?
Yeah, you could. You could call the seller and say, look, I think that I can get you the number you're looking for. Your agent is not helping me get the deal done. And I want to let you know that I'll be calling you, or you can call me when you're ready to have a conversation. But my offer is going to be something along the lines of blah. Okay.
Right.
By the way, Sadie, have somebody in the nightly dial instead of subto make that phone call for you if you're too new. Have Daniel Quijano do it. Have one of the closers, have Dom from Colorado make that phone call for you. You're not in this alone. Have somebody make that call for you. Or option 2, I'll give you option 2. Option 2 is you tell the agent, hey, agent, if you would like me to go on a Zoom and pitch your seller and you simultaneously and tell you what my offer is, I would love to have that opportunity. Is that something you'd be open to? The agent, most of the time when I do that, the agent's like, wait, I don't have to look like an idiot? You'll just do all the work for me?
Right.
And I can still get paid? How do you think the agent feels right now, guys? The agent has gone 7 months without getting paid, and they look like an absolute idiot to the seller. This agent wants to get the deal done. So why would the agent go, no, my seller doesn't need to sell?
Yeah.
If he doesn't need to sell, then tell him to take the market off half a year ago.
Exactly.
And listen, if they won't take the right price and they won't take a creative option, guess what?
Yeah.
We're deal finders, not deal creators. That's it. You're not going to convince them. You know what I mean? Now, maybe they don't understand it. If there's even a crack of opportunity for them to look at something from a payment standpoint, from a creative standpoint, then great. Launch into that. If not, move on. There's unlimited amount of opportunities.
Yeah.
Now, remember, follow-up is so important. So important. And also, I'm gonna give you the 3 things. 1, call the seller, plant the seed. Brent said this really well. Plant the seed, call the seller. Okay. 2, call the agent. Come bearing a gift, and the gift is, hey, can me and my partner just pitch your seller, even if it's just a backup offer? And
Yep.
typically these seller finance offers, they create a lot of questions. And if I could, I'd love to just answer the questions live on a Zoom with your seller. Okay. Sadie, have you watched my agent Zooms with their sellers? Have you seen me do that in the subto
Yes, all
vault?
for the last 3 years.
But
Well, the ones for sub two, yeah, done that
okay,
in the
so my
last
most
90
recent ones
days.
that are in the subto vault, you can go and see
Right.
me talking to this. I'm talking to the seller direct, and the
Yes.
agent sitting there like an absolute idiot. That's basically
Yes.
a place marker on my Zoom. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't even address the agent. I'm like, all right, seller.
I watched it the night before last, and I was like, I was washing dishes, and I was like, God, I got to take notes. It was like awesome.
Yes. And you know what was funny, Sadie? The same exact thing happened to me. The seller in that, or the agent in that situation says, my seller's not interested in creative finance.
Mm-hmm.
I go, okay, no problem. Do you mind if me and my partner just pitch it to you and your seller simultaneously, and any questions you guys have live, I can just answer them live?
Yeah.
And the agent's like, sure. Yeah, we could do that. Went from not interested to sure. And then I get on the Zoom. The last one that you saw was at Dillon, Texas. The seller's like,
Yep.
where can we meet? I'll just give you the keys. The seller literally didn't take $1. It's a brand new build, 4-bed, 3-bath, gorgeous home in Texas City, Texas. Agent got paid $2,500. But the agent told me, this is a deal I closed 2 months ago. The agent says, seller's not interested. Okay. No, the agent is telling you they're lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
They're too embarrassed to tell you, hey, if I eat ice cream, I crap my pants. They're too embarrassed to tell you the truth. Okay. But welcome to life. Human beings lie all the time so they don't look stupid in front of their peers. People are more afraid of looking stupid than they are about not paying their bills, believe it or not. So these agents don't want to look stupid. They have a license. Okay. So then option 3 is just wait for the listing to go expired and do what Brent's saying, which is go create 10 more leads. The best negotiating ammunition I've ever had in my life has been having way more leads than I could handle. Because I can't waste any time with sellers and agents that aren't willing to negotiate and have a conversation right now. So I go fast. I go, oh, you're not ready? Cool. I'll call you in 30 days. I got too many leads to handle already. Yeah. What happens typically is when people have a lack of leads, you get this one disease. Okay. Do you know what that disease is called, Sadie?
What do you call it?
It's called one-itis. You got one lead and you get addicted to that lead. And so you hyper focus on this lead.
Right.
Let that lead sit for 2 weeks. Here's what I would do. I would call the agent and I tell the agent, hey, I saw that it's being marketed right now to other investors. If that falls out, please let me know. I'd love to be a backup offer. And then refuse to let yourself look at that for the next 5 days and go generate 5 more leads.
Right.
That's what you got to do.
I will do that.
Okay. And by the way, I'm going to say this one more time. Agents suck. Straight up. If you're an agent in this side chat, I'm not talking to you because you're a unicorn agent. You're actually trying to learn something.
Right.
It's the same thing with business brokers. I'm sitting there talking to business brokers and I'm like, your seller's been trying to sell for 7 years and you're telling me he doesn't want to sell on seller finance? Oh no, he doesn't want seller finance. So I just called the seller directly. I go, will you sell on seller finance? He goes, yeah, absolutely. These people just don't want to look stupid. So instead they'd rather be broke. Don't let these people mess with your life. Go around them, do whatever you possibly got to do. These people suck. Okay.
I will.
If I'm talking, if you're an agent and you feel triggered, you shouldn't, because you're in here learning how to be an investor agent, not just an agent with a listing. It's a very different world. Okay. Sadie?
Yes.
Go get that deal done. Can you tell I hate agents right now?
Well, listen, any agents that are in there, stop applying for the job of selling somebody's home and apply for the job of buying it. You know what I mean? Like, be the cash buyer. Go out there. I was an agent for a very, very, very long time. Did all of it. Had coaching, had the communities, had the brokerage meetings, had everything. And I'll tell you, agents absolutely hate being agents. They really do. They like the income that you can make, but it's like being like a car finance guy. You know what I mean? Great money, terrible, terrible hours, terrible lifestyle. You know what I mean? So come to the light side here and wholesale some deals, and you're going to be a lot happier.
Yeah.
Yep.
We got a bunch of Q&A. We only got 10 minutes. I'm sorry I went on that rant, guys. Hopefully you guys got a couple of chuckles out of it.
Luckily, we do this every Monday, you know? So there you go.
Exactly. Joel, my Patriot American over here.
Here we go.
Joel,
You finally see everyone again on after like a whole year, right? Like a whole 2 months, a year and 2 months.
Yeah, Joel, you're the man, bro. It's good to see you. It's nice to see you every time I go to Texas.
Oh yeah, Brent, we have some stuff to do to you.
I'm ready, bro.
He's gonna pick you up and crush your nuts. Basically.
I'm ready to wrestle. Let's go.
Oh, we got this.
Joel, what do you got for us, brother?
So there's a lot of things like I'm doing too many things. I think that's where I'm killing myself right now. So one is a connector, and on the line of connector, I found title companies. Like I was struggling talking to sellers and all that stuff, right? So now the last meetup I went to, since I was networking, the last 2-3 meetups, Myron, Caroline, KJ, Joseph, and even Rena, they all had like the sponsors. So one of the sponsors was a good title company. So that title company, Victor Valderas told me about this like months ago on generating deals from title companies. So I went to this title company right there, and so apparently they have all the deals that failed traditionally. So I'm trying to understand is like they have agents that had deals that failed traditionally. They have sellers. They have a whole bunch, and not just deals. I'm talking. They have private money. They have buyers. They have good TCs. They have like a whole bunch of things. So this is like the recommended from a subto student, this title. So my question is, now I want to build a relationship with them. Like, how can I move forward with them? And what are some other things to be involved with
Here's what I would do. Write down that no matter what you choose to do, it requires consistency for at least 90 days.
Yep. 90 days.
And if you get to day 89 and you go, this isn't working, then you need to crush yourself in the nuts. Okay, because last time I saw you crushed me in the nuts, and now I got to crush you back. Okay.
Oh yeah.
The problem is people, guys. This is going to hit home with some people and trigger a bunch of other people. Okay. You guys, including me, I'm talking to a previous version of myself. You were told when to go to school, when to go home, what to do when you got home, what time to go to bed, what time to wake up. You got told what time to go to your job, what time to clock out, what day you were getting your paycheck, and how often you were getting your paycheck. Then you went to college. Then you got your job. Then your job told you what not to do, just as often as they told you what to do. You had an expectation of, if I just sit my ass in this chair and I wait 2 weeks, I got a paycheck. That's like 99% of the people on this planet. I show up, I get paid. That's not how it works in business. As the person who drives the revenue in all of my businesses, I can tell you when people say, man, why do you work so hard? I go, you must have a job. Because you definitely don't own a business. Because if you understood what it required to run a business and drive revenue to accomplish a task, you would go, man, why are you taking a break? You know, there's like 100 things you got to be doing right now. Okay. Joel, there's no possible way on planet Earth that you've held on to one strategy for 90 days consistently without something deviating you. No possible way. No possible way.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's going and wholesaling deals with a real estate or with a title company, guess what? Write this down, everybody. It all works. Door knocking works. Bandit signs work. Working with title companies, probate attorneys, insurance agents, oh my gosh, all of that works. The difference is the way that you've been trained and the invisible shackles and balls of weight that the environment you've lived in have put on you of like, oh my gosh, the world is ending, and if you don't succeed, Joel, you have a job, right? A day job.
Yeah. No, I don't.
You don't have a day job. How are you paying your bills?
I'm with my family at the moment.
Okay. Joel, you need to figure out how to be so deathly afraid of still living with your family that anything else is incredibly easy.
The pressure is hitting.
You know what I did to Kevin Cho? Kevin Cho wouldn't move out of his mom and dad's house. You know what I did to Kevin Cho? Is I drove to Vegas and I took him to dinner. And I said, if I see you living with your parents in 30 days from now, your and my relationship is over.
Wow. Wow.
That's what good friends do to each other. Brent Daniels done that kind of stuff to me 100 times.
Accountability.
5 years ago, Brent Daniels locks me in a room with 6 other people and says, if your business doesn't grow 25% this year, you're not allowed in this room next year. Oh my gosh, did he put the fear of God in me.
And take the money home.
Yes, and take the money. That was a game changer. Brent taught me how to take a lot more money home. Bro, Joel, forget about what strategy is the cool strategy. The easy button is consistency. That is the easy button. And anything you apply that easy button to will then work. Name the hardest thing. Name the hardest strategy that you think is in real estate right now. What's the hardest strategy? What's the one that was the hardest for you?
Talking to foreclosures. I hated
that. Oh, give me. If you put me in that situation, you think I'm going to tear that up?
Yeah.
Why?
Because
I'll show up for 90 days straight. You didn't show up, my guy.
Yeah. I think we had this conversation last year, right? Around May.
But the difference is this time I'm going to come and fly to Texas and beat your ass if you don't get into shape. Dude, I'm serious. And everybody else, I'm talking to you guys too. It's time to make a change, my guy. I'm over here making millions. Brent and Jamil are making millions. We're going up and gobbling up everything. And you're sitting over here not taking action. You're too damn smart. You're one of the smartest people I've talked to in like 2 years. What are we going to do about this, Joel?
My battery is low, just to let you know.
No, bro, it ain't low. This ain't dying on me. There ain't no way this is dying on me. What are we doing?
Let's do this.
What are we doing?
All right, in 90 days, we're gonna get these talk to title companies and agents.
Companies. No. How many people will you talk to every single day for the next 90 days?
15, 20.
Let's make it 5.
All right.
Just for 90 days.
Every day. Beat my ass face if I don't do this.
Okay, Joel, here's what I'm going to tell you right now. If you can't talk to five people a day for 90 days straight, you and I are done.
Okay.
I can't have you in my world. I can't have you in my lives. I got to have action takers around me. And if you can do that for 90 days, regardless of whether you get a deal or not, I will cut you a check for $10,000.
All right. 90 days, 5 people a day.
Okay. And
should I go live?
Either you go live or actually going live for an hour and making 5 phone calls every day is a very smart way to do this. This is how.
What are you going to go live on?
Facebook.
No, start a YouTube channel.
All right.
Yeah, I like that.
Tonight. And you have to, starting tomorrow, you have to post a video every day of you talking to 5 people.
All right.
Go YouTube live. Just make the call. Make sure everybody knows what channel you're on so that we can follow you and support you. All right. But for 90 days. And he's gone. His phone died.
Oh, we ain't letting him off the hook. There's no way I'm letting him off the hook.
We got it in. But listen, this isn't just for Joel. Why wouldn't everybody on here do this? Anybody that's struggling with being consistent, for taking action. Why not start a YouTube channel, go live on it every single day, and say this is what I'm going to do today, and not stop until you do it. Guess what? You will win. It's impossible for you to lose. If you have enough conversations and make enough offers, you will win every time. It's undefeated. It is absolutely undefeated. And then if you get people that see what you're doing and support you because you're being loud and you're pouring out a lot of love to the community and just letting everybody know how vulnerable you are and how scared you are and how intimidated you are and how you feel like you don't know anything, guess what? People will support you. They will cheerlead you. They will be the wind behind your sails. They will help promote and get you up on those days that you don't want to go. There's an unbelievable amount of accountability in this group. But guess what? People want to be around people, like Pace said, that are taking action. Like, nobody wants to be around the theorist. Nobody wants to be around the voyeur. People want to be around the people that are doing amazing things because that's what they want to do. That's what they're doing.
Thoroughbreds hate donkeys.
That's it.
Thoroughbreds want to run with other thoroughbreds, and I want you guys to be thoroughbreds running with thoroughbreds. So if the same thing goes for Joel, I drove to Kevin's show in Vegas 2 years ago, and I said, if you don't move out of your parents' house and grow up, you are out of my world. We are no longer friends. I can't hang out with people that are donkeys. And one of the things that I can't hang out with are people that say they're going to do something and then continually waste the gift that God gave them, which is their life.
Time.
Time. It is the greatest gift of all time. And you're just lighting. Hold on. Let me. Gone. Chilling.
It's ready, aim, ready, aim, ready, aim, ready, aim. Just fire. Just do the work. Just put it in. It absolutely will work if you do. 100% of the time. It will. Might take you longer than others. It might take you shorter than others. It doesn't matter.
A couple of years ago when Munif joined Subto, Munif comes to me, he goes, I need to become a really great closer. What do you think I should do? And I said, I think you should start a Twitch channel where you live stream every day and you just fail every day and you call it The Takeaway. He's like, The Takeaway? And I go, yeah. Your audience should walk away every day having one takeaway from your failures. And he's like, wow, so I don't have to succeed. I don't have to close a deal. I go, no, it's actually preferred that you don't.
Yep.
Give people something to take away. And Munif started and did it every single day. And all of a sudden, 6 months later, Munif, in my mind, takes the Closers Olympics. 6 months in the game, gets second place against RJ Bates. 6 months in the business from going from I'm afraid to talk to people to, oh my gosh, I won second place in the Closers Olympics, was literally just talking to 5 to 10 people every day and giving the people in our community something to take away every single day. That was it. Spin the narrative in your mind. You don't have to land a deal on the phone call. Get on the phone call, make some friends, have some fun, and just do it every day for 90 days.
Yep.
Brent, you want to take us home?
That's it, guys. We love you so much. We encourage you to go out there and do everything that you can, whatever it is. Like, tap into that time that you won. Tap into that time that you felt like you were in flow state. Tap into that time where you felt absolutely invincible, and just get into that state of mind before you go out there and take action. Because it's not you having lack of experience or lack of knowledge. It is always self-doubt that's going to pull you down. So find that self-confidence that you have. Find that spot that you know that you can win, that spot that you've won before, and be in that warm, hot, unstoppable place, and then take the action, and then be around people that are doing the same thing. And then all of a sudden, life is just so much fun. Work, there's no more work anymore. It's just play all day long. It's just play and play and play. And why not? We've got a certain amount of time. We don't know how much time we have left on this planet, but we only have a certain amount of time. We're going to waste it fearful. We're going to waste it with self-doubt. We're going to waste it, saying, well, someday I'm going to get started when all the right things are in place and when I feel that it's going to be okay to fail and to win and to stop. You're powerful. You're absolutely incredible. We love you. Bro,
one last thing. I'm in the Spartan race the other day.
Yeah.
I wanted to quit on mile 2, but I was like, no, I'm just not going to quit. That's it. I don't care how much pain I'm in. I'm just not going to quit. That was my only goal. 70% of people quit the Spartan race.
Yep.
So I'm sitting there on mile 10, barely able to walk. And I'm sitting there complaining to Jerry Norton, who's walking next to me, barely able to walk, right? We got 3.5, 4 miles to go, 20 some odd obstacles to conquer still in our path. And this guy with a missing foot passes us and says, "Did I hear you guys complaining?" As he passed us missing a foot. So when Brent says you have all the pieces, guys, you're alive, you're breathing, you're here, you know this is an opportunity, you see other people being successful, you have all your arms, your legs, you have your wits about you. All the right pieces are here. They're already here. There are people doing more with less than you currently are right now. You have all the pieces.
You got it. We love you guys. We'll see you next week.
Boom.
Or just say squat up.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
1, 2, 3. So squat up and enjoy the show.
What are you doing?
I didn't say nothing.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Cool. I think we should use the one where Jamil doesn't say anything.